Welcome to the Digital Nomads Podcast. We're here to give you the latest insights on everything digital from inside the agency.
Let's talk today about common mistakes in SEO. This is part two. We've done this once. We're going to go again. We just see it every day. We see it every day, whether it's people trying to self-manage their SEO, which is not a bad thing, not against that. I think if you can do your research and
get started somewhere.
I think at least getting started is important. And maybe at the end of this, we'll give you some tips on how to get started. I'll do that. And we'll have a quick couple of points of what to do. But yeah, some of the common mistakes that we see in the in SEO campaigns, whether it's people coming through to us or whether it's campaigns that are just not being successful. Let's fire away. You go first.
Right. Where do I start? So first one would be having a solid keyword strategy. And mapping out what pages need to be built or what pages are targeting a particular keyword. A common thing we see is a website comes through the door onto my desk and and it sort of overlaps with another one we've got of just overlapping content. There's a website could have several pages speaking to a particular service. So for example, I think plumber, Sunshine Coast. They could have, plumbing services, Sunshine Coast as a URL, plumber, Sunshine Coast, and then emergency plumber, Sunshine Coast.
And then the homepage.
And then the homepage as well.
Targeting the same keyword.
And although from a business perspective or, as the owner, you may think, oh, these are all actual different individual services. From a search perspective, they all fall under the same, what's called like a keyword cluster, where you can have one page dedicated to speak to, emergency, the plumbing services, and the primary term of plumber, Sunshine Coast. So that's a common thing we see of, canonicalizing URLs, consolidating content onto the one page and addressing that. But having a solid keyword strategy and a keyword map and outline is just so important, especially at the start of your campaign, so that you are building off a solid foundation from there rather than developing all these pages, optimizing them all, and then trying to control the overlap later on in the end. It's still in the long term will benefit the website, but it can cause some slight issues and downwards in traffic in the short term.
You're kind of fighting against yourself to a degree.
Exactly, and it's just a waste of time and resource from what you did at the beginning. So
For sure.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go with initially. One of the key ones that we're seeing at the moment is not investing time in content. So you're talking about the keyword strategy and, strategizing content and making sure that the content aligns to particular keywords and then not competing with yourself. I think that we're also, an area that we're seeing now is the investment in content. And that from a few different angles. So one, not willing to invest as a business into content. That's one mistake that I feel like businesses suffer or are missing an opportunity. This is a prime example. What are we doing right now? We're investing in content for ourselves. So that's one gap that a lot of businesses are choosing not to invest into content when you should be investing in yourself and you should be investing in your asset. And you'll be surprised on how many people you can get in terms of visibility and eyes on your business by investing in a really good content strategy and plan.
Or even just creating people who are coming back for more.
Exactly.
You're putting value out there about your business. You gain a bit of a following. Like we've had a few people.
We have frequent people now that are following this and following our strategies and our concepts and what we're doing. So somebody once said to me, it's like, you'll be surprised on who's watching. It's that saying, and you never know who's watching is one of them, but sometimes it's like, you'll be surprised who's watching. So that's a really big area. But when I talk about also investing in content, it's not trying to cut corners. That's the other area. So we see a lot of people that, come in, or businesses that are coming in just like, oh, I don't want blogs because I'll just have AI write them. It doesn't do the same. No. It doesn't get you the same result.
No.
If you knew how much time we invest into our campaign, it would blow your mind. But, we invest a lot into our agency. We invest a lot into our website. We invest a lot into our clients as well. And when we have that investment in, and we're investing in high quality content, that term gets thrown around so much of like, what's high quality content? It's time and research and strategy and manually written and content depth and value adding and, lead magnets and everything as a collective.
Yeah.
Diversity, different mediums, whether it's video,
infographic,
print material, downloadable, you name it, as a collective.
Yeah.
It does phenomenal for your business.
Yeah.
And it's a massive gap that people, I feel, when they're looking at an SEO campaign now, don't look at that. And we obviously look and to educate people to invest into that. But businesses with their own resource in-house should be finding potentially areas and where they can leverage their in-house resource to be able to do it themselves as well.
Definitely. It actually reminds me of a conversation I had recently with a client of speaking about content and the benefit of content for their website and their campaign. And they had some concerns about showcasing too much of, how they do things, like providing too much value.
Yep.
And that's what Google's looking for. It's
And people. People were looking for that.
Exactly. And, we put out, I think we were sort of similar a couple of years ago. Like, we don't want to put out too much of how we do things and what we do. And now we're in a podcast talking about basically how we do SEO.
Exactly.
But it's hard, it's hard for someone to have our agency's level of expertise and pick it up. It's taken us years to get to where we are.
Yeah.
Same for a lawyer who's, writing content about how they do law and how they do their things. It's information that provides value for the users, but I feel like the mindset should shift from, they might take my tact of how I do this and do it themselves, because half the time they probably won't be able to do it as well as you. It builds that brand credibility and brand awareness. And like I said, it makes them want to come back for more and then see you as a trusted leader and a thought leader within your industry. And and that's what I said to client. It's so key, providing that value. Google loves it, users love it, and that's how you build your brand over time.
Yeah, I think what you just said, smack on. And I agree with, a couple of years ago, we would have been one of those, cards close to your chest, don't give away your secrets, don't give out your information. But, it's imitation's flattering, right?
Exactly.
It should be a thing of, we'll disclose everything that we do. We talk about everything that we do. We talk about our strategies or implementation. If you want the exact roadmap of exactly how to rank a website, I'll give you it. There's no issue.
I'm pretty sure it's a blog on our website of how
I think I've already written it. There's no secret recipe to it.
No.
I can tell you exactly the one, the full way to go.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of intricacies within that full way to go that it's really difficult to
comes with time.
It is. It's an expertise, right?
Yeah.
I can give you a paintbrush and paint, and you can paint a wall, or you can have a painter do it, and one's going to look better.
Yeah. Not my wall.
Exactly. And that's really what it comes down to. It's about a profession. It's somebody that can just implement it faster, more effective, and to a different standard. So I think it's a common overlook, bringing it back to the common mistakes. It's a common overlook that...
Don't be scared to share your industry knowledge.
Yeah. And that's where it comes back to, I don't want to write content, I don't want to share content because I don't want to give out information for free, versus become that point of resource, become that thought leader, become that professional that people lean on within your industry. That's what we now are positioning ourselves as.
And that's what AI lacks. AI can't produce that content and that uniqueness that a business owner or an industry expert has. It can just give you the surface level of what everyone's talking about and the fluff from Wikipedia or whatever. But it can't give you that granular, tangible expertise that an individual has.
Correct.
It can't provide that. And that's how you can make your website have that competitive advantage over people who may be leveraging AI.
And to speak to AI in that, which is going to be another content piece that we're about to go into as well for those that are wondering about AI and how it works. And when you are creating that unique content, it allows AI to then see you as a position or a thought leader within your industry, and actually you will become cited more frequently within AI search. So if you can create the unique content, it allows you to display more frequently in search in AI.
Yeah, which is wild.
Which is actually what you want, because a lot of people are, migrating and starting to leverage AI for their research. So if you are going to create unique content on your website, then AI will leverage your website and your content to show that value forward.
Yeah.
Which then means that you're also optimizing not both for SERPs and Google SERPs, or, you know, the ranking within Google, the traditional ranking within Google, but you're also optimizing your content or creating content that's going to be optimized for AI.
Yeah.
Which
positions your brand or your business as a up here.
A leader.
Yeah.
So
leader.
that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I could talk about this all day. I love it.
So that's another common mistake.
Investing in
And so I think invest in content, invest in your business. That's key. Invest in a good keyword strategy. That's key.
Yeah.
I did have another one as well, which was competitor analysis. I think that's key as well, and a lot of people forget to do that.
Or they have a different idea of who their competitors are.
For sure.
Is another. I think we're going to have another segment.
We've got so much content that is ready. Yeah.
But sorry, I'm like taking over.
No, you go.
Said.
No,
but
it's good.
a common thing I find a lot with new onboardings or clients that come through is they're like, these are my competitors, this one.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing.
Yeah.
And some of the time these competitors may be in a high position organically on Google. But most of the time it's just, a local business down the road from them that they're like, oh, I want to beat them. I've seen more people come through their door.
Yeah.
Why aren't they coming to me? Whereas they're actually not performing as well organically.
Yeah.
So to speak to competitor analysis, it's looking at competitors who are ranking for your primary service or primary product keywords online and looking at what keywords they have that your website currently doesn't have, and seeing whether there's any opportunities or gaps on your website that we can start investing time into ranking to compete with them.
For sure. Yeah, there is definitely a change, or there is a difference, I should say, between a local competitor versus your digital competitor.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Your local competition that might be in the same, in the same shopping center or in the same geographical location.
Yeah.
Organically may not be in this, or say organically, talking from an SEO standpoint or digital standpoint, may not be in the same ballpark. So, I could say that I don't really see any agency necessarily as a competitor to us. I don't feel that, I think there's enough to go around.
Yeah.
But if I was to say we have local competitors, I wouldn't be lying. Sure, we have some people that are agencies that are on the Sunshine Coast that are a competition to us.
Yeah.
Locally. Organic and digitally, though, from an SEO standpoint and an organic ranking standpoint,
perhaps not.
They're not deemed our competitors, because our organic ranking would be subsequently far more aggressive than what they would be. So we're more competitive with Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, etc. And we're actually playing in that space nationally as opposed to just playing locally.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Is you have a digital presence and you have a local brand presence. And it's kind of two different things. So when you're coming in and looking from an SEO standpoint, your SEO competitors may be different to your local geographic competitors.
Yeah, which actually shocks clients a lot of the time when I send them the strategy. I'm like, these are your competitors, and they're like, oh, who are they? I've never heard of them. Or sometimes they're like,
for sure,
oh, they rank well, and they didn't think that they were doing as well in business. I don't know what metric they're looking at for that, but they
generally it's just what you hear,
exactly,
or what you see, or they're on a billboard, or you heard them on the radio once, or you saw them on a TV ad, or they dropped a flyer into your. Do you know what I mean? Like the traditional marketing, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're digitally. Yeah, they've got that presence.
So it's always key to monitor what they're doing online, and obviously have a look at their structure and what keywords they're obtaining, but then also don't necessarily completely replicate what they're doing, but then find gaps in that industry or in that niche that we can then, or like little pockets of opportunity for your website to then squeeze into. Or if there is opportunity to be competitive and provide more value and be more aggressive in a certain area that your competitor is currently dominating in, go to war, but go
to town.
Go to town.
Let's go to town.
Go to war.
Let's not go to war. All right, fantastic. Do you have anything else to add to the common mistakes. I think this is probably going to end up being a part 3.
Yeah, we're gonna have
no
a
doubt.
series
I'm
on this,
sure
I
this is
think.
going to keep going.
Yeah, but I think
We'll leave it at that for the day.
it's enough.
With the how to get started, let's give a couple of tips on how to get started. If you were starting an SEO campaign, what would you
do? I would, one, make sure you have a website. That's always key. Have a look, Google your primary service or product and location online. Have a look who's ranking. Find your digital competitors. And then write content.
Start writing content.
Just start writing content.
Have a blog and write some content.
And don't be afraid to share your knowledge, and make sure you have a GA4 set up so you can monitor how your website's progressing. And I think content's key.
I think we've got some articles probably on our website that you could lean on for resource if you want to go and check them out. And if we've got anything I'm sure we've got relevant content there. We'll put some links in the notes below for you to jump into and go through like a step-by-step guide. Sounds good? Awesome. Thanks again. Catch you next time.
Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for our next episode.